So good morning. A man that goes by the name Mahatma Gandhi once said, "Earth provides enough to satisfy every man's need, but not enough to provide for every man's greed." I think this is true, and I agree with this because I think it's true with the current problem we have dealing today with overconsumption of oil. The reason why I bring this issue up is because the city of Whittier is currently having problems with oil companies trying to drill in their hills. And as a resident of Whittier, I feel that it is my duty to let more people be aware of this. That is why I propose that the Whittier oil project should be put to a complete stop because it can lead to future problems that can cause harm to Whittier's natural environment and cause residential hazards and disturbance. So first, let me start off by giving you guys a brief background on the issue. Matrix Oil in the city of Whittier first began to debate about this in early 2011, and the debate was won by Matrix Oil to a 5-0 vote that was given by the Whittier City Council. In mid 2012, Matrix immediately started prepping for that. And then later on, the decision was later on overturned in mid 2013 and was put to a temporary stop due to a petition that was upheld by the residents of Whittier because it could cause harm to the environment. But recently in 2014, Matrix Oil proposed another oil production project that's going to be submitted in the midst of 2015. Now I would like to talk about the first potential problem that comes from drilling in Whittier Hills, which could potentially interrupt nearly 21 acres of land and its undisturbed habitat. And the land is called Puente Hills Native Preserved Land. The land is filled with hundreds of living species and plants, and some of them are even becoming endangered. For example, there is a threatened plant community called the coastal sage scrub, and it's estimated that only 50% of the once dominant plant community remains undisturbed within the 21 acres. The natural land also contains several critical halotrope species called the California gnatcatcher, and that is one that is getting highly concerned about because there's only one breeding pair left that is currently living there. These are only a few of the cases that show how endangered animal life and plants that live in Whittier Hills are at risk. Whittier's animal life and environment are highly concerned by the council and more importantly, the residents because of the possible problems that can arise when drilling sites are put near areas that contain animal species and plant life. A second problem that comes with drilling for oil is that it could possibly cause groundwater contamination to any nearby residential areas and more importantly, the environmental area. Oil extraction operations have to use thousands of gallons per water per day, and since the mineral extraction law allows oil companies to extract a limited amount of water, that means that they have no limit to the quantity to extract. The groundwater then gets put aside in large containers that highly contain carcinogenic and toxic agents that can be very dangerous to any residents, workers, animals, and if ever potentially exposed. Accidents like these can clearly occur if there's any leaks or spills during the process of extraction. In my opinion, I think that people from the community of Whittier should not have to ever worry about situations like these to ever occur. And shockingly, there are still more possible hazardous concerns out there that we need to know about. Lastly, I would like to mention that the Whittier oil project can also potentially cause a bigger disaster if a large-scale earthquake ever occurs in the area. According to the Whittier Hills Oil Watch Environmental Area Report, the oil drilling project site is less than 2,000 feet away from an active seismic fault, and also within a ground area identified as a potential for permanent ground displacement, which means that the area can have potential landslides and liquefaction if an earthquake ever occurs. The earthquake will then also cause oil leaks and spills throughout the environmental area and also affect any near backyard homes and roads, and that can possibly damage the homes and the roads. According to the State of California Geological Service seismic hazard map, 10th Street followed by Colima Road are the most potentially hazardous places to be around during an earthquake, because they are prone to landslides and liquefaction. And if the oil production is happening, things will definitely go wrong if an earthquake happens. I believe that Whittier residents should not have to be concerned about any sorts of problems like these just because of oil companies wanting to extract the oil for money. In conclusion, many oil companies such as Matrix are continuously looking for land that contains rich oil and show no remorse towards the people, animal life, and naturally preserved environments. It's only obvious that oil companies don't care about the side effects that come along with these types of productions. For example, they ignore the future problems that can occur, such as groundwater contamination, environmental endangerment, and public hazards. Whittier Hills is a beautiful preserved land area that is full with many living organisms and plant life that could easily be put to an end if Matrix oil is allowed to drill in 2015. As a resident, I think the best solution is to create another opposing proposition that can make the land privately for the public and for the animals to live freely. I only have one last thing to say, and that is if oil continues to be the main source of energy, many valuable locations such as Whittier Hills, La Habra Hills, and any nearby places will be destroyed in the near future, and it's our duty as a people to do whatever it takes to not let these things ever occur. Thank you.
Does your girlfriend have a matching one? Does she really? Yeah. Have you guys taken Christmas pictures?
Jonathan, you here?
Yeah.
What did you think?
I thought the quote that he stated at first was pretty interesting. His overall, his whole body is how he addressed how the habitat and how it can affect the environment and whatnot. I thought that was pretty good. But what I saw that he didn't cite a lot, he only had maybe one or two, and there's a lot of information there, on his notes. I also saw that he relied a lot on his notes, but his tone was really good. And overall, I think he did pretty good.
Okay. I like the quote from Gandhi. I don't like the introduction to the quote from Gandhi. A guy who called himself Gandhi. It's like, what the heck? I think most people probably heard the name. So let's just go with the quote and say, Mahatma Gandhi said, that sort of thing. I think that would work fine. The beginning makes it sound like it's a speech in general about overconsumption of oil, and we're going to get a broader argument. As it is, it's really a much more focused argument. So I think you want to stick with the focus thing and get rid of this idea that, oh, we're over dependent on oil. That's another problem, a different issue. Let's talk about what the problem is here in this particular location. And I think one of the things that is a little iffy is that sometimes when you rely on that sort of approach that you're talking about, it makes it sound like it's some environmentalist propaganda instead of an argument about what the problem is in this particular spot. And people tune out when they start hearing that kind of stuff. Let's hear about what's going on in this particular spot. Now, one of the things I thought was problematic at the beginning is I don't know exactly what it is that you're talking about. Apparently, this oil company has gotten rights to drill someplace in Whittier. That needs to be clarified a little bit more, because you just go right into, oh, the city council gave them this, voted 5-0 in favor of this proposal, which I don't know what it is, and then later on the proposal was withdrawn or voted against, and now there's another proposal that they're talking about. I'm going, are they talking about putting in 50 oil derricks someplace? Is it a specific spot in Whittier? Is it say, let's get permission to go in this nature preserve and screw up whatever's going on there? Is it next door to the nature preserve? Where in the hill? You need to have a little bit more background data on this so that we know why this argument is important. When you talked about the particulars of the spot, that's when I thought the argument was strongest, and that's when I thought your evidence was more consistent, because you had specific local groups and conservation organizations and preservationist groups that you're citing there. I'm not exactly sure how worried we should be about the gnatcatcher. Why is the gnatcatcher threatened by this? It's like, are they going to shoot them when they come in? Or is it going to destroy their habitat? Or are they going to be so freaked out by the drilling operations that they'll stop breeding? I don't know exactly what's going on. It sounds like there's a potential threat there, but you need to explain and show that there's a reason to believe that has it had that effect in other places where these drilling things have gone on? That's what we need to know about. The stuff about the seismic safety issue, I think, was also potential danger in the area. I thought that was a little bit better developed, and the data that you had there was more specific as to what the consequences would be and how that would work. I thought that worked pretty well. I think your energy level needs to be a little bit higher. You just sound a little dry, and sometimes you're reading too much. It's just one of those things. Okay, thank you.